don't do TBRs over here. We do TBDs. To be determined, baby, because we're mood readers. But I do have, how many books? I do have a little under 30 books that I really want to prioritize for the summer. And for various reasons, maybe they're giving off summer vibes. Some of these are book club picks, but I just wanted to share them because maybe you might want to read some together. Yeah. Okay. So I have 5 different genres. So I'm combining horror and thriller because a lot of these books are classified as both. So I have about 10 horror thrillers. I have a few romances. I have some like weird lit fic books that I'm really excited about. So I have some cozy fantasies that I want to get to. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my list of horror thrillers. The first one is a book club pick that I am reading for Alex and Sister Christy's book club. This is a Thursday This is the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I think this is kind of fun. It's like, is it a mystery? Kind of cozy mystery. It's about 4 people in a retirement village and there is a mystery that I guess they're gonna solve, and I'm assuming something with Thursdays is pertinent in this book. So this is the first one. This is their book club pick for the month of June. But if you are interested in Alex's and Sister Christy's book club, I will link Alex's channel down below. Next are actually 2 book club picks from Books and Lala's book club, Kayla. It's the Literally Dead book club, and I love that we have the same name. The H on the end of my name stands for Hugh. That's the only difference. I love Books and Lala beyond the fact that we have the same name. I've been watching her for like 8 or 9 years on BookTube. I'm very excited to read the June and July Literally Dead book club picks. And the one for June is, let me refer to my notes. You Know What You Did by KT Wynn. I have no idea what it's about, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. It's obviously some sort of thriller-esque type of thing, very ominous. You know what you did. And apparently so does someone else. So that is the book club pick for June. And then for July, it is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. That is his newest release. I just actually read a Riley Sager book, my first one, the only one left. I added this to my list, but I just completed it a couple of nights ago. This is a 5-star read. This is my first Riley Sager. The pacing, I love the characters. The plot twist really did it for me. So I'm really excited about Middle of the Night. So that one is for the month of July. So if you don't follow Books and Lala already, that's interesting. That's a choice. I will link her channel as well if you find the Literally Dead book club picks for June and July interesting and want to join. It's really fun. We do like yeah. My biggest dream, and I'm putting this out there, I want to guest host one of her Literally Dead book club live shows. So at the end of the month, she invites co-hosts. It's normally like 2 or 3 other people to help co-host and talk about the book that they read for the month. I am manifesting that I'm gonna be a co-host one day. We follow each other on TikTok, which is really cool because I don't even know how that happened, but don't say anything. I don't want to jinx it. But I want to host one of those book clubs with her so badly. So if you want to join, they're really, really fun. And I love that she's a horror thriller girly. I have gotten so many of the books on my shelves and recommendations from her. If you're interested in that, I will link her channel down below. So yeah, those are the only summer book club picks that I have so far. The next thriller I want to read is Something in the Water by Catherine Steadman. This is really giving summer vibes because it's set in Bora Bora. There's a couple on their honeymoon. They discover something mysterious in the water. And you guessed it. I'm sure some sort of chaos ensues. Something sinister ensues. I hope I don't have to sue Catherine. I actually read The Family Game by her and enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4-star. That was my first Catherine Steadman, so I picked this one up and it really is giving summer vacay vibes. Love that for me. Next one is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I really like Stephen Graham Jones' work, and I love this one because the main character in this book is a slasher film lover, and so am I. My favorite slasher film is actually Prom Night, and that kind of reminds me of this book without having read it. So I'm really excited. I believe this is the first book in a series, but this is horror, a little bit of thriller. Very excited about this. The next one is Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough. Sarah Pinborough is an author that I have read and loved. I read Behind Her Eyes by her, which is actually a Netflix show, which is really cool. And this is yet another thriller about sleep. So this one isn't really giving off summer vibes in any way, but I just thought I'd throw this one into the list. Next is If You Tell a Lie by Lucinda Berry. I love Lucinda Berry's work. I am making my way through her entire catalog, so this will be perfect. This releases in July, and I actually just got accepted to receive a physical ARC of this book, so I'm really excited. Definitely gonna be reading that as soon as it hits the front porch, baby. As soon as. Okay, next is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby, and this is just like a thriller. I've listed some mystery thrillers, psychological thrillers, slasher, some horror, but this is just like a pure thriller. I feel like this is kind of giving action movie vibes, like that kind of thrill. But it's about a jewelry store heist and how that all goes down. So I'm really excited about it. I don't think this is really giving summer either, but the blacktop be blacktopping in the summer. So that's the inspiration behind wanting to read this. And I really have heard a bunch of good things about S.A. Cosby as a thriller writer, so this is gonna be where I start. I haven't read him before. Next is The Chain by Adrian McKenty. I actually read and really loved The Island by him. And when I would talk about it on social media, everyone's like, read The Chain, read The Chain, read The Chain. Okay, girl, I hear you. I'm gonna read it. I don't even know what it's about, but this was a thriller, or The Island was a thriller. I'm gonna read the back. You just dropped your child off at the bus stop. A panicked stranger calls your phone. Your child has been kidnapped. The stranger then explains that their child has also been kidnapped by a completely different stranger. The only way to get your child back is to kidnap another child. And most important, the stranger explains, if you don't kidnap a child, or if the next parents don't kidnap a child, your child will be murdered. You are now a part of the chain. Darn! This is my first time reading the synopsis. This might be getting bumped up to my next read. The Swing? That is so ominous. I love that. I've never read that synopsis before. I just bought this. I think I got this at a library sale for like $1 or $2. And I had this one, so I picked it up. I was not prepared for that. Okay. The next one on my list is Such a Bad Influence by Olivia Munter. This is a new release. It just got released at the end of May. It's a thriller, an electric, timely thriller about what happens when one of the first child stars of the social media age grows up and goes missing. Oh, so it's giving influencer. And this is very niche, so if you don't like books about social media, which I know people don't, this might not be for you. Ooh, it's giving influencer mystery, influencer thriller. I'm influenced. Uh-oh. Okay. Thought I was a goner. Hey, if I'm gonna go, I wanna go with these. Yeah. Frida McFadden books will be good to go with, because me passing away from a bookshelf falling on me would be unhinged, and this lady is unhinged. You hear me? The next thriller that I want to get to this summer is Little Rot by Akwaeke Emezi, and this is releasing in a few weeks. And it's really interesting because I read one of Miss Emezi's romance books, You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, and really enjoyed it. It's age gap, billionaire, spicy. Spicy. So it'll be interesting to read a literary fiction thriller from her, but I think this has like a good bit of sexual content, but there's queer representation in this book. It's a thriller. It's also contemporary fiction. Oh, it's set in Nigeria? Oh, 5 friends trying to outrun and outmatch a powerful underground world one weekend. The elite underbelly of a Nigerian city, a breakup that starts a spiral, a party that goes awry, a tangled web of sex and lies and corruption that leaves no one unscathed. So that one is one that I'm really excited about. And then the last one is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. It is the third book of the Housemaid series. I think it's the final one. Unhinged. Yeah, I gotta see what Millie's up to because she gets on my last ever loving nerve. Love you, girl. This one comes out very soon as well, this summer. So that's another one. Okay, we're gonna go on to romance. So the first romance book that I wanna read is 7 Days in June. Get it? Because it's June. This is by Tia Williams. I have not read any Tia Williams, but she comes highly recommended, and it's a romance. I think it's Second Chance, some sort of second chance. But it is a hilarious, romantic, and sexy as hell story of two writers discovering their second chance at love. I love that. And it's literally titled 7 Days in June, so I feel like I need to read it in June. Next is Kennedy Ryan's newest release, This Could Be Us. And don't tar and feather me for not having read this yet. I'm getting to it, girl. I'm a mood reader. We established this at the beginning of the video. Okay? Thank you. Back up off me. This is the second book of the Skyland series. The first book, Before I Let Go, was actually the first adult romance novel that I ever read. The first book by a Black author that I ever read. I am shooked and shocked. But anyway, Kennedy Ryan, she is a bookmark. Interesting. She is an auto-buy author for me, and this book just got released in March. This book, we followed Yasmin, and this is one of Yasmin's friends, Soledad. This is her story. I've actually heard this isn't quite a romance, maybe? It's like not, there's romance in it, but people are saying it's more of just like women's fiction, contemporary fiction, more than a romance. Maybe it's more like contemporary romance, contemporary with some, I don't know. I'm excited to read it. I love Kennedy Ryan. She can do no wrong, and I'm also making my way through her entire catalog. The next book I am going to read is The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. I think this just came out like last month. February? Was it February? Was it that long ago? This says February 2024, the first edition, but for some reason, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But this is Second Chance Romance, Marriage of Convenience. Two former high school sweethearts get a second chance in this marriage of convenience romance by Christina Forrest, author of The Neighbor Favor. This is my first Christina Forrest as well. I've been wanting to get into her, so really excited about this. And this is giving like summer fair vibes. You see that Ferris wheel? It's giving summery. Okay, the next book I want to get to is She Drives Me Crazy by Kellen Quinlan. This is a YA sapphic sports romance, which I am a basketball coach, and one of the female main characters is a basketball player, the other one's a cheerleader. Oh, this is fake dating. Love that. Fake dating, yeah. Oh my gosh. One of the main characters' name is Scotty. That's my dog's name. I love you. And then the last one, which is not really a one, but I'm gonna categorize it as one, is I wanna read a couple of Emily Henry's books. Mainly, I feel like these are the most appropriate beach read and people we meet on vacation. I think this one is like maybe her most popular book, but I have all of them besides Funny Story, her newest release. So if you've read these, let me know. I think I'm definitely gonna read one. I don't know if I should read two. If I do read one, I think it's giving this because this is like my summer TBD. So this is what it's giving if I have to pick one. If I have the wherewithal and I'm in the mood to read a second one, which one do you think? Funny Story is looped into that. Let's imagine Funny Stories right here. Let's imagine. What do you think? I don't know. But yeah, I've been trying to get into Emily Henry. I know a lot of people really, really like her. And I think her titles and covers and the plots of her books are really interesting from what I know. So I'm really excited to get into her. Okay, I told a fib. Sorry. That wasn't the last romance. This is the last romance. Stars in Your Eyes by Kayla Calendar. This is a male-male romance. I have not read any male-male romance books, but I am trying really hard. And the point of this video is to try to diversify not only the content of what I'm reading, but also the genres, because if I could read horror thriller only, that's what I would read. But I'm trying to step out of the box. And the only way to grow is do things that you wouldn't really normally do. So this is about two male actors. They are starring in a romantic film together, and of course to get some publicity for this movie, they fake date, and we all know what happens when people fake date. So I'm really excited about this one, and the cover is stunning. Okay, so I have two more categories. Now we're gonna get into some weird books. So my first weird book that I'm actually kind of in the middle of right now is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a pretty popular one of those like paranormal horror. What is this book? I've literally read like a third of it and I still have no idea how to categorize it. Okay, this is described as horror, fiction, thriller, fantasy, magical realism. I probably agree. My goodness gracious, this book is unfreaking hinged. I really like it. Bunny, 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 bunny. I feel like I just want to walk around saying that. But Bunny by Mona Awad. And the next books I actually do not have physical copies of, but the next one is Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter. This is actually the book that I'm currently reading. I'm reading it on audio. I'm gonna read the synopsis. So it's about Cassie, and she is working at a very cutthroat startup company. So this says, though isolated, Cassie is never alone. From her earliest memory, a miniature black hole has been her constant companion. It feeds on her depression and anxiety, its size changing in relation to her distress. The black hole watches, but it also waits. Its relentless pull draws Cassie ever closer as the world around her unravels. I'm 29% of the way through on Libby. I'm listening on audio, and this book is like scratching something in my brain that needs to be scratched. I don't know if it is the audio or if it's just the book itself, but it's very weird. It's kind of funny but ridiculous. I don't know. The next weird book that I want to get to is Patricia Wants to Cuddle by Samantha Allen. This is horror fiction, LGBT, queer, contemporary romance-ish. This is set in a reality dating show. So of course there's drama, there's interviews, long nights, and we're following Patricia. I'm reading off Goodreads. We're following Patricia, who is queer. Is Patricia in the show? We're following Patricia, who is queer, so she's like watching all this. I think these are straight people on the dating show. I think it's 4 women with a man. But when the cast and crew at last make her acquaintance atop the island's tallest and most desolate peak, they soon realize that if they're to have any hope of making it to the next elimination event, they'll first have to survive the night. Patricia Wants to Cuddle is also a love story between star-crossed lesbians who rise above their intolerant town, a deeply ambivalent woman and her budding self-actualization, and a chosen family of misfit islanders forging community against all odds. Sounds weird, love it. The next book that I wanna get to this summer is Brutes by Diz Tate. And this is described as the Virgin Suicides meets the Florida Project. And it is a debut, a coming of age story about the crucible of girlhood from a writer of rare and startling talent. We would not be born out of sweetness, we were born out of rage, we felt it in our bones. So this takes place in Florida, so that's really giving summer to me. So this captures the violence, horrors, and manic joys of girlhood. Brutes is a novel about the seemingly unbreakable bonds in the we of young friendship and the moment it is broken forever. I've heard that people are pretty polarized with this book. A lot of people love it, a lot of people didn't love it, but I'll be the judge of what happens in my brain. So I'm excited to read that one. And this is a genre that I want to get more into because I think these are really fun palette cleansers. Like, I'm okay with not really getting it sometimes. I'm fine with that. So I really wanted to expand. This is not something that I normally read. I've read a couple of books like this. Like Comfort Me with Apples is one of them. The Paul Bear's Club, pretty weird. We Spread was pretty odd. But things that are just kind of like, what's happening? I love those. Okay, I have one more. It's Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. Bing. So this is set in a taxidermy shop. Love that. We're following Jessa Lynn. Her father has unalived himself right in his taxidermy shop. So she has to take over the family business, and her mom is doing weird things like putting the stuffed animals, and I'm not talking about teddy bear over there. I'm talking about somebody's pet dog. The mother is putting these, like, she's making art, but putting some of the things in this shop in a very weirdly, like, sexual position for photos. I think they're photos. I don't know that she's painting them. This says her mother starts sneaking into the shop to make aggressively lewd art with the taxidermied animals. She has a brother, Milo, who doesn't want anything to do with what's happening with this taxidermy shop because he's just struggling so much with his father's death. And then Bryn, who is Milo's wife, also happens to be Jessa's crush, Jessa Lynn's crush. So the main character, Jessa Lynn, her sister-in-law, she's been in love with for years and years and years. Yeah, that sounds messy as ever. Messy boots. So I'm really excited to read that one. And the last category I hope to read from this summer, which I am actually currently reading from right now, is cozy fantasy. So the first one I'm going to talk about what I'm actually reading right now. It is The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic by Lindsay Hall. I'm reading it on my Kindle, and a lot of the books that I don't have, I'm gonna try to find them on different formats before I buy physical copies, because I have just bought, so y'all saw my last video, right? I just bought a lot of books, so I'm not on a ban, but I'm just gonna try to be more conscious about what I buy. I'm not just gonna go buy willy-nilly. I think for the summer, I'm going to read as much as I can, and then if I am enjoying it and want it as a trophy, I will buy it, but I'm not just gonna buy just to buy. I'm gonna try to read more of the books that I own first, and also the books that I read on audio or on my Kindle or check out from the library. I won't buy a physical copy unless I love it. So that's my mantra for the summer. And my understanding of cozy fantasy is that it's more like magical realism. Like there's fantasy elements, and a lot of them apparently have to do with like baking, which is interesting. But there's like witches, and there's not a really like intricate magic system. The world isn't super intricate. It's very easy to follow, and that's perfect for someone like me, because one of my pet peeves in reading fantasy is having to refer back because there's like weird character names that I can't pronounce, or there's a map and people are traveling and I'm like, wait, where are they going? Hold on, y'all stop, put it in park. Let me turn back and look at this map. I don't like having to do that. So it gives me like a fantastical, magical element, which I do love, and something that I did love, I'm not gonna get it, but it's The Wishing Game. And I feel like, I don't know if The Wishing Game is just magical realism or if it's cozy fantasy, but it gives really cozy vibes, and I am loving it. So I am reading this. It's about a family of witches, and one of the witches who we're following, her name is Aria. She like, just, she's not really on the magic train as far in as most of the other witches in her family, so she's a little bit self-conscious about her magic. She has vowed not to use it, but she kind of can't control it, but of course she's gonna have to use it at some point. There is also a romantic love interest. His name is Callan. He is also magical, but they are both actually contestants in this magical competition to take over this like magical billionaire's fortune. And Aria, the main character, her family really needs this money. Oh, they have a potion shop, and they really need this guy who's like retiring or whatever. They need his product. So what better way to guarantee that upholds then to win the competition, to take over all the fortune, all the product, all of the everything. She's competing for this, and Callan, who is the love interest, is also competing for the same exact thing. Doesn't that sound fun? Okay, the next book that I want to get to is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is like the very first recommendation people say when I ask, what's a good cozy, lighthearted fantasy? I know nothing about this. Big-hearted story about the small things in life, a lovingly written ode to the genre, a must-read for every Dungeons & Dragons player who has ever wondered what happens after happily ever after. Cute! A novel of high fantasy and low stakes. Okay, I have a few more. So the next one is also super highly recommended. It's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. Even just talking about these books are like getting me in a really like fun mood. A warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. As one of the few witches in Britain, Mika interesting, knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. And as an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone and she follows the rules. With one exception, an online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously, but someone does. An unexpected message arrives begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere House to teach 3 young witches how to control their magic. Isn't that cool? So she like becomes a coven leader. I love that. This is just, I feel so good just even reading the synopsis of this. And the last cozy fantasy that I want to read is called In the Company of Witches by Aurelie Wallace. This takes place in an Airbnb, not an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast. When a guest dies in the bed and breakfast she helps her aunt run, a young witch must rely on some good old-fashioned investigating to clear her aunt's name in this magical and charming new cozy mystery. So it's like a cozy mystery and cozy fantasy. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna do a brief overview and just kind of show all the physical copies of the books that I have by genre. So these are the horror thriller books that I want to get to, plus a few others. Romance stack. Oh, we're tipping and turning. Romance stack. Bada bing, bada mother freaking boom. Weird book stack. Period. And cozy fantasy stack. If there is another genre that you guys would like to see me read, I am all for kind of, you know, expanding my reading taste. But when I say summer, I mean June to August, because once it's September, that's the cozy fall vibes, girl. And I think cozy fantasy and cozy mystery, I do have a Finley Dawn of it that I want to get to. But those are the ones that I feel like are really giving fall vibes, so I can't wait to hopefully expand my knowledge in those genres through this while I transition into fall and winter. These are the ones that I really want to get to, high priority on my summer TBD. Don't forget, girl, TBD. And if you are interested in reading any of these, let me know. Like maybe we can, you know, I don't know, maybe we can do something. And I will check in August to see, oh, what am I doing? To see, ow, these are sticking in my leg. To see how I did. Oh. Okay. Oh, I was gonna try to do a book stack, but you know what? Y'all already saw them. All right. Let me know what you're reading this summer, and if you think there is something based on what I show that you think I'll like that I haven't talked about, I'm always down for the recs. Give me all the recs. Thanks, girl. Okay, I have a lot to clean up because that was a pretty big stack, but I'm gonna get Wingstop first. Okay, bye.